My name is Sterling.
LJ. Hi, I'm Isha.
Today we will be discussing the article published by Addiction Biology called Extended Access to Nicotine Leads to CRF1 Receptor Dependent Increase in Anxiety-like Behavior and Hyperaglasia in Rats.
The abstract talks about problem, hypothesis, and conclusion. So the problem of the article is that withdrawal from nicotine leads to emergence of negative emotional states such as anxiety and receptive hypersensitivity. End up with a hypothesis that activation of the CRF1 receptors in rats that has long axis, which is throughout 21 hours a day of access to nicotine, is when emergence of affective and motivation effect will occur. And they end up with conclusion that long access rats exhibit abstinence induced increase in anxiety like behavior, no receptive hypersensitivity, and short access nicotine rats, self-administration has limited validity for tobacco dependence, and the study concluded that studying only short access to nicotine self-administration is not helpful in studying tobacco dependence because only long access activates CRF1 receptors necessary to see abstinence induce anxiety-like behavior. But the introduction of the paper is more in depth than the abstract. So the problem is the same, is that abstinence from nicotine produces robust somatic and effective withdrawal symptoms. The symptoms are connected with increased to long-term heavy smoking, and if the subject being tested has frequent access to nicotine and then it's taken away, the bad symptoms and anxiety they have will actually make them smoke more when they have access to the nicotine. The hypothesis and introduction is that negative emotional states of withdrawal does not contribute to nicotine self-administration. And so that longer periods of daily access, so like the rats who have long access to nicotine, are needed to produce to change the brain that causes the anxiety. And like behavior pain sensitivity and actually causes smokers to increase smoking.
All right. So for methods and materials, the first part of the article is about animals. So for the entire study, they had 78 male Wistar rats, and they were given controlled settings of 12-hour light and 12-hour dark settings. They did meet all of the NIH, National Institute of Health guidelines, and the Scripps Research Institute for Animal Care and Use Committee guidelines. And then moving on to the drugs, the nicotine hydrogen salt was a weak 7.4 base, and the mecamylamine hydrochloride was administered intraperitoneally around the intestines area. This was dissolved in saline. For reference, the mecamylamine hydrochloride activates the acetylcholine receptors, the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors. The CRF1 antagonist MPZP, which was the theory that they were testing to see if this would be a good way to treat tobacco dependence, was dissolved in hydroxypropyl bicyclodextrin, and it was dissolved in acid pH of 4.5 at the end. This was injected subcutaneously or under their skin 45 minutes before testing. This was based on the dosage that they chose was based off of a previously tested dose that was shown to lower post-abstinence withdrawal symptoms.
Okay, the results will be explained by, we use the figures to explain the results, and LG will explain figure 1 and 2.
Alright, so the figure 1 is basically the experimental design. So the first part of the figure 1, all rats were given access to nicotine for 1 hour per day. Is the acquisition part of the arrow. It's self-administrated, and it's 7 to 12 days until they learn until the self-administration was stabilized, and then they separate the rats into 2 groups and given either short axis, which is 1 hour per day, or long axis, which is 21 to 23 hours per day to nicotine. And that goes for 4 days of session, Monday 10 a.m. to Friday 10 a.m. And you'll see in the arrow that in between there's 72 hours of deprivation. That part is where the rats are being tested on behavioral. And that's the 3 days of abstinence, and so that it'll be good to test the hypothesis which one shows abstinence emotional effect. And so the figure 2 is data or panels, and you'll see them below. They are referring to the average performance during the first 2 weeks of the study. So panel A to C describes patterns of nicotine self-administrations during pre-abstinence versus post-abstinence. So on panel A, or data A, it shows that long-axis rats consume more nicotine after abstinence from nicotine, whereas if you see the post-abstinence, they didn't consume. So they did consume as the post-abstinence. And it also shows that short-axis rats consume less nicotine after abstinence period compared to pre-abstinence, which is very interesting. And so panel B shows the amount of nicotine long-axis rats consume pre and post abstinence, showing they consume more after post abstinence. And so the panel C, it's basically showing that in the first hour, long axis rat has a higher amount of nicotine injected compared to pre abstinence, but at the same time, as the time went by, they kind of went down, so they didn't need a higher injection of nicotine. But the difference between pre-abstinence and post-abstinence, number of injections in the first hour is very significant, because you can see increase in the first hours after the post-abstinence. And so the panel B, it shows that this is the number of injections, and that long-acting rats have higher injections of nicotine, obviously, compared to short-acting nicotine. Short-acting rats of nicotine. Panel E, the last graph, it's saline and methamphetamine. You discussed that earlier, that there's somatic signs. This is interesting because they're consuming different different nicotine, different amount of nicotine, and how long they have access to it. But their somatic sign are like the same despite the long access while that has a higher injections, number of injections in nicotine.
Okay, so figure 3 talks about anxiety-like behaviors increasing post-abstinence in the elevated plus days. And results show that, well, anxiety-like behaviors increase and they are CRF1 receptor dependent. And the second plot, which is a scatter plot on that figure, shows the slope is negative for that graph, so there's a negative correlation between the two, which basically means if one increases, the other one decreases. But anxiety-like behavior does increase post-abstinence. That was number 3.
Figure 4, which was 72 hours after 72 hours of abstinence, post-abstinence. Figure 4A, was based on the CRF1 receptor dependence. It was their Paul withdrawal threshold, which was at about 90 grams for the long access that received MPZP, which was actually about the same amount as the short access, which didn't really show a difference because it's negligible because they don't show dependent signs. And then figure 4B was showing that the more number of injections that they had, the lower their PAW threshold was. In fact, the lowest was at about 30 grams. Figure 5A shows where they were supposed to place the cannula in the brain for experiment 3. And the last one was on experiment 2. And then the second part of figure 5A shows where they actually were placed, at what depth, the ends of it, and they show open circles for the 2 that were excluded from the results because they went into the wrong place. And so that was because the MPZP intracranial infusions lessened the symptoms of withdrawal, which were the increase in nicotine intake post-withdrawal and mechanical nociceptive hypersensitivity. Then figure B was the number of nicotine self-administration injections after receiving either the vehicle or the MPZP. The vehicle was given as a control to make sure that none of them were panicking because of other symptoms. That was the wrong word, panicking, but the ones that received MPZP had a lower number of injections post-abstinence. And then figure 5C was their Paul withdrawal threshold, which was at about the regular 90, as previously discussed, grams with the MPZP versus the 50 grams if they received the vehicle.
To summarize the results, after 3 days of abstinence, long-access rats showed increased nicotine intake, increased anxiety-like behaviors, and increased nociceptive hypersensitivity as a result of nicotine, I guess. But what was super interesting to me was when injected into the central nucleus of the amygdala, the CRF1 antagonist reduced nociceptive hypersensitivity and prevents excessive nicotine self-administration, which they think may counteract, so this whole CRF1 system may counteract the negative emotional states associated with abstinence and relieve the prominent aspect of nicotine craving.
Those were just the results of our study.
So what do you think they did well with this paper?
I would say that I think that I appreciated some of their research design. They really, especially the fact that they had a different test pre-abstinence and post-abstinence, or a different test before the study as the control, and as they had like after they did the testing, so the animals didn't get acclimated to the open field test.
I thought the figures, I think there were too many, but I think they were done well. Because sometimes when I didn't understand the result specifically, what was written, I could just look at the figure and the figure legend and figure out what they meant by it. So I thought that was done well.
I like the fact that they didn't just like say, oh, the long axis is the one who produces anxiety and stuff like that. I like that they went like thoroughly to like actual give evidence of like why the long axis rat produces those effective motivational such as anxiety and receptive hypersensitivity.
I thought the use of statistics was well done too, because they do mention when they normalize the data, what transformation they use to normalize it, when they use ANOVAs, and I'm taking 170 by 170, so for the first time I understand what p-values are. So that was interesting to me. I got very excited when I understood what they meant by it.
I think the thing that I liked the most, or I found the most interesting, is the fact that they were able to find something that, at least in the rats, was able to treat the nicotine dependence.
Yeah, and that's not most of the time, or at least a lot of the times, studies come up with nothing. Like the result is this does nothing to the rats, which I think is equally important, but I think it's interesting and it's very exciting that they found something that actually like kind of worked.
Well, and speaking as someone who is queer, I mean, there are significantly higher smoking levels in the queer community than in cis-het communities. So, I think that this is exciting if it leads to something.
Yeah. And I think, well, when they presented the results, I thought they were promising.
Yeah.
At least they know they have a starting point.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've done anything, but I will have to check on that. Well, they met the animal welfare guidelines when we think about that, and they mentioned it. So
I understood that they have to stress the animals out. So I didn't really find that too problematic. I think the one thing that kind of made me sad was the fact that they just decapitated the rats afterwards for the ones that had the intracerebral cannula. I understand why.
yeah.
But
In the name of science, the things we do.
yeah, it makes sense. It's better than decapitating a person, but
Yeah, but I think it's very easy to treat animals. Well, if they're doing research on animals and they have all these rats all the time, it's good that they respect them enough to be treating them well
yeah.
and humanely decapitating them, if that's a thing.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not a vegetarian.
Yeah, me neither, so.
Yeah, so
But still, they need to be respected as like they're being used for like humans' benefit to like find a solution in our problems. So,
yeah.
but how did you feel about the article using only male rats?
Okay, as a gender studies major, I was like, wait, what? Because in a lot of human studies in the past, doctors would just study males, and the reason that they would give was oftentimes because females have pesky hormones, which is like so messed up. So I'm curious if there is any biological difference between females and male rats as far as hormones and other than just sex organs, just to see if that would have affected any of the results of the study. And I think that is definitely, that goes into what they did not do well. I think that that's something that they should definitely improve, and perhaps it's just they double the size of the experiment next time and have half female and half male rats. And if they have intersex rats as well.
Yep. And that detail definitely jumped out at me too. But because they're testing for something like nicotine, which in humans at least is used by all types of people. So why not include more variation? I don't know the right word for it, but like
more variety.
Inclusive. Be
Yeah.
more inclusive. But yeah, if there is a biological reason that they wouldn't choose female rats, I would really like to know it. Maybe add that to your paper. We use male rats because one line and that's it, but
Yeah, at least an explanation I think would be owed because they chose to only use male rats.
yeah. And all their other methods and materials was so extensive and so well explained. It was a lot to read through. Like kudos to you for being able to summarize that, but yeah, that was hard. Okay, what do we think about the elevated plus phase? Let's address the elephant in the room. Overall, I think it's, why did they only use one anxiety assay pre-abstinence and post-abstinence? First question. And second, why elevated plus phase when it's been proven to not work?
Yeah.
And like addiction biology seems like a big journal, and it is peer reviewed from what I know, but I might be wrong. But again,
And
I would think they should.
my only thought was perhaps they're like, we had talked about in class that despite the fact that it's been proven to be essentially not accurate,
Yep.
that a lot of people still use it.
Yep.
So, I guess my thought was, well, perhaps they're just doing it because they have data to compare it to, instead of using other assays that they also have data to compare
Yeah,
to.
because like there's so many others, like the light dark thing that we talked about, and okay, marble varying maybe not the best, I get it. Like the open field, sure.
The open field, which they did use for the short access rats and and before they started the experiment for pre-abstinence.
And I remember, not that I remember the exact test that we studied about, but I remember studying about a lot of them as part of anxiety assays. So maybe it was one of those. And I was kind of proud that I remembered what Von Frey testing was. I just had that image of the lady in the lab coat poking at the rat from under a mesh. Oh man. Okay, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, and they did do the Von Frey test, which was awesome. And that's data that they can compare. And I just think that though I liked the fact that they had two different tests so the rats didn't get acclimated, I think maybe a way that they could have improved that is by doing multiple different assays, but doing the same ones for everything. So even if they do get acclimated, they still have a lot of data to go off of.
Yeah, and that is what I was thinking too, just do multiple assays instead of just doing one pre-abstinence and one post-abstinence. Ooh, very cool.
Why did they use rats? Why not monkeys? monkeys that are closer to humans?
That was my question.
Yes.
Do you have an answer for it? Or maybe a theory?
Well, my theory is that maybe they want to start off with like less aggressive animals so that they can test it in small animals before going to like bigger animals like monkeys that are aggressive like human beings. So like I don't know. What about you guys?
Yeah, because we talked about how rodents are a good model for tests in a lot of situations, and we did talk about like rodent behavior, I guess. I don't know, rodents just seem like the first step to testing,
Yeah.
but I don't exactly know.
And I think that perhaps because monkeys are so much closer to humans, I mean, we talked about this before, but I think perhaps they were concerned that there would be more ethical concerns if they didn't test this on a small animal that's not as close to humans first. That was my personal theory, but
Yeah, all of those have theories, but I think they all sound good.
agreed.
This might be an unpopular opinion, but I thought they were doing too much, like entirely too much with this thing. Because I read something about food intake and they measured that and they measured all these other variables that they didn't necessarily need for the results. But we did spend time talking about them in the paper.
Yeah.
So I just think there were too many details and the important stuff was really hard to extract at first.
And I think testing it wasn't a problem. I think the fact that it was, like, they could have talked about the fact that it was tested, but putting that in the results, if it's not relevant, being like, there wasn't really any data to go off of, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Instead of talking in depth about the food and water.
Yeah, and maybe choose one thing to really, really focus on and measure it from all angles. But I think they were like doing 5 things at once, which I would get lost reading the paper the first few times and have to go back and underline things and keep track of things. It was a lot of information. And yes, it was very well thought out, and I liked their study design and their controls. And they mentioned that they used this specific thing as their control, like it didn't leave me as the reader. Well, I'm not the intended audience for it, but it didn't leave me questioning what the control was and what the experiment was,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Future directions for the paper?
Future directions. I thought it was interesting that, like we talked about in class, vaporized nicotine goes straight to the brain and activates the nucleus accumbens, which is basically the addiction center of our brain. And they here are injecting the rats with nicotine, or self-administration, but the nicotine has been injected into the bloodstream, which would lead to first-class metabolism. And so how did they counteract that? Did they have more amount of nicotine in the actual self-administration dose than is present in the vaporized nicotine stage? Like, what do you guys think about that?
I would say that I would think that they would have thought about this. I don't know,
Yeah.
obviously, but you would hope
Yeah.
that they would have done something because of the vaporization and stuff like that. The first pass metabolism, pardon. I don't know.
Yeah, I would be really interested to know because they did have a standard dose, but did they take into account that it will go through the liver and be broken down and maybe not be as reliable? Like, you can't really compare them to heavy smoking because when you smoke, it's doing all these other things that might play into the drama
Yeah.
that we're not taking into account with this paper. But yeah, it was just something I was thinking about.
I think, and I think for future directions for the paper, I think perhaps something that would be, as we talked about before, widening the variety of sexes that they use for the study, as well as increasing the number of rats they're testing. That way, when they take 2 out of the 10 rats out of the data, it's more like they're taking 10 out of 100 or 10 out of 50 instead of out of the data instead of 2 out of 10.
I definitely agree with that. But their sample size to begin with, I don't know if this is the first study or if they're replicating the study,
Yeah.
but it was good. It can be better. That's what I would say about it.
Yeah.
And I agree with adding more sexes to the study because us females want to know how we
Yeah.
can counteract
It would be
nicotine.
really interesting to see like the difference between like
Yeah.
male and female rats.
That
Like,
could be
Yeah.
its own study.
Yeah.
And adding multiple assays, or maybe using different assays and seeing how it works, and if they still get the same results.
Yeah.
Yeah.